Welcome to Soulblazing. I'm Lisa Haisha. Today's guest is an extraordinary writer and actress, Isabelle Fuhrman. Hi. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, yeah. I'm so in awe of you. You are 20 years old.
Yes.
You started acting at 6.
Well, technically-ish, but I got an agent when I was 7. So technically, like, I think I would call it 8 was probably when I actually started. But still, it's young.
It's
12
young.
years.
I know.
12 years.
I know, but you already starred in the Hunger Games. You were the star of Orphan. I mean, you've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you just tell us a little bit about your journey? And
I mean, it was kind of something that just sort of happened. My sister wanted to be the actress, and I actually wanted to be a singer when I was little, like when I was 4.
Oh, that's interesting, because now she's a singer.
No, she's a singer,
and you're an actress.
Yeah. We swapped.
Yes.
And it was kind of something that just sort of fell into place. I mean, I lived in Atlanta, so it wasn't like something that I could pursue there necessarily. It wasn't something that I grew up around and saw. I did a musical theater camp with my sister that my mom put us in, and I just thought it was super cool, and one thing led to another, and I ended up doing like a guest, I got a spot on the show called Cartoon Fridays, on Cartoon Network when I was younger, and then ended up getting an agent through that, and it just kind of snowballed from there, and then I ended up moving here.
Yeah, but the thing about you is you're so disciplined.
Yeah, that was my mom.
Yeah,
my
that's your mom
ingrained that in me when I was really young. And my sister and I both, I think, are very disciplined because of the way she raised us, which was kind of like, trying is not something that separates you from everyone. Everybody's supposed to try, and you should always, wake up in the morning and do something with your day.
Can you tell us how, like, everyone who wants to come here and make it in Hollywood, everyone really struggles, and they go on auditions, they don't get things, but you just got something right away. I think because you're disciplined, can you share with us how you, like, work your days?
Yeah, well, I think there is always a struggle. I mean, I'm still struggling in a way. I think there's so many ups and downs in this business, and starting and like breaking into it is difficult because it's finding an agent and getting auditions and getting into rooms with casting directors, and then I'm very lucky that I've worked long enough that I have an agent. I can get into rooms with casting directors, but you still like audition for parts and don't get them. And I think we just talked about earlier how 90% of my job is applying for jobs.
Yes, it is. You're always out of a job.
I'm always out of a job. Yeah. I'm always looking for a job.
And that's a job.
Anybody hiring? But that's a full-time job, is applying for jobs and going out on auditions, and that's the job. And then the cherry on top is when I get to go to work and work on something and collaborate with amazing directors and producers and writers and make something that people can see and hopefully touch them or strike a chord in them.
How do you pick your roles?
It's kind of like a mixture of both things. It's sometimes I read something and I really relate to it and I audition for it and I don't get it. Or sometimes I read something and I really relate to it and I do get the job. And then other times I'll get sent something and they're like, are you interested in doing this? But a lot of times I kind of just search for something that kind of scares me. Because I feel like I've learned a lot about myself through the people that I've played, because you get to explore different parts of your personality and different parts of yourself through playing different people. And you also get to have a lot of fun exploring those sides of yourself in like a safe environment where you're being creative and getting to mess around and play with like people. I mean, my job is to play pretend, which is amazing.
But how did you prepare for The Orphan?
That was a lot of research. That was the first job that I did that I think I realized that I could do this as a job. Up until that point, I was, as I said, I was 7, I was 8, 9. I did Orphan when I was 10, and so everything was just so much fun.
But you played like a 31-year-old?
33-year-old woman passing herself off as a 10-year-old girl,
That was so scary.
Like,
oh my God.
Plot twist for anyone who hasn't seen it. But yeah, no, that was a lot of research. I remember when I read the script, my mom actually read the script first because it was an R-rated movie, and she blacked out like all the curse words, and so I got this like script with like a black line on every page, like things that I was not allowed to read. But I remember when I read it, I just really understood her. which scared my mom because,
Yeah, of course.
Because she's a serial killer. But what I saw, and I think what you can only see sometimes when you're a kid, is the underlying reason for the way somebody is and how they are the way that they are. And I just saw kind of like this woman who was looking for love and going about it in a completely wrong way.
Yes.
But underneath that, I saw that core drive that the character had, and so from there, the research kind of came to like watching my mom and her friends and seeing how women sit and women talk, and it's very different than how kids sit and kids talk. And I would just start mimicking them and like crossing my legs like my mom, the way my mom kind of puts her head on her hand or like talks with her hands. And so you start to pick up those sorts of things, and then also did a lot of research with, people with, a lot of mental problems.
How did you do that research?
You just read articles.
Articles.
Yeah. And I worked with an acting coach, Michael Wilson, who was incredible and helped me in so many ways. And so then it just came down to the incredible cast that I got to work with, and our director, Jama, who was just really supportive. And I was 10, and so, it's kind of scary in a way to be leading a movie, but it was so exciting, and I was working like 6 days a week, and I would do my schoolwork all throughout the week and on Sunday on my one day off. And so you kind of just learn to keep going, and I think it was because of that part that I am so disciplined in a sense, is because you realize that you have to be, because the amount of time that you have free when you're working is so little, and then when you're not working, it's so vast, the amount of time that you have. So it's like you have to do something with it. You can't just sit on your ass.